This is a View from the Bridge, official podcast of the Belfast Giants for kingdomofthegiants.com. Today is the 2nd of April, Tuesday, 2nd of April, 2024. My name is Patrick Smith. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, X. I'm starting to give in and start calling it X. And you also download us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all your normal podcast providers. If you watch it on YouTube, you enjoy the show, like and subscribe, all that sort of stuff, or leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We always really value your feedback. On this week's show, 3 points off the Devils and a shutout over the Clan. The Giants had a relatively successful weekend as we run into the playoffs. Jackson Whistle shut out Glasgow, and as we discussed last weekend, he's the hot hand for the Giants at this moment. He'll be joining us later on. We have a chat with the captain of the Sheffield Steelers and former champion with the Belfast Giants, Robert Dowd, ahead of the final weekend of the regular season. We've Jeff Bond Sr. join us for a bit of crack, and we'll be opening the show in just a second with a few very special guests. It's Player of the Month time and all the usual stuff, and the news will basically just be us talking about the playoff running. If you're watching live or like to get involved, send us messages on Facebook, YouTube, and all. Keeping a track on X and Twitter and all that sort of stuff, and or drop us a line at AVFTB. Mr. Majimsey, you doing all right?
Not too bad, mate. Another busy week. Another day in paradise, you know.
Nice trip to. I tell you what, some nice pictures of Lily involved with the Giants.
You know what? I had a really, really nice day with her. She's starting to really get into it. Well, she's getting into sport, but she loves going down the Giants. And you know yourself, you go around any of those places, the guys all make a fuss of the kid, you know, and she's getting pats in the head and photographs, and she was setting pucks up and filling water bottles, you know. So I misjudged this. Should tell a story. I thought it was a 4 o'clock face-off, so me and Lily set off from Bristol like at 10:30 on Sunday morning. Got down about 12 o'clock, met Taff, got everything done. Says to Taff, right, we've time for a cup of tea here. The boys will be here in about 20 minutes. He's going, what? Sure, it's like a 6 or 6:30 face-off. So that's why we ended up in like the Toby Carvery for lunch, because we had like 4 hours to kill. So, but Lily was good as gold. She had a really good day out, kept me awake on the way home and stuff. So it was a fun day for sure.
That's a bonus. Some of those, well, especially for me when I'm trying to drive back from Cardiff those times, just trying not to fall asleep. Mr. Kitchen, keeping well?
Dead on. None so as adventurous as you two. You know, it's Jasmine's 19 now. She's just driving her own bloody car. So I just sort of had the last few days myself, which was absolutely fantastic. Cleaned the shed out, tidied a few wee bits and pieces about the house that I've been meaning to get done, and went for lunch yesterday. But apart from that, yeah, it's been dead on. It's been great.
That's it. It was a good Easter weekend myself. Just went on a big long walk with the kids. Absolutely busted them on a big 6K walk. Declan's only 4. Big 6, marched them around the countryside. Come on, mate, let's go. Oh, my legs are tired. Keep going, buddy. Let's go. But we had a lovely weekend. Right, let's get cracking. We always said when it comes to the top of the show, we try to invite the important people when it comes to the Belfast Giants. We had Mark Cooper there the other week, and we're going to start with our very good friend, Laura Small. How you doing, Laura? This is your part of the show. This is like officially this is the start of the show. Is always the Laura Small part of the show.
Simon, you forgot to mention you got your hair cut. It's beautiful.
I got my hair cut as well, gents. Yeah.
Did you?
Thanks, Laura.
I cut Nick last week.
I cut mine earlier, mate. What do you think?
Yours is beautiful.
Cut me on.
I've noticed.
Laura, it's we are coming into the end of the season, but that doesn't mean that things are stopping. You know, it's a busy weekend for the Belfast Giants, especially when it comes to, well, we'll start with the Alzheimer's and the shirt of that on Saturday.
Yes, actually, I forgot to say to you, on Friday night we're going to have the Cancer Fund for Children Cancer-Free Choir singing in the foyer. So just come and have a wee listen. So that's something to look forward to. I think when there's a choir or anything in the foyer, it always makes a nice wee atmosphere or vibe, as people say now, when you come in. So that'll be lovely. I'm an old person, so vibe's not really my word. Okay, so then moving on to Saturday night. So I've gone over this before, and I'm just going to talk about it real quick, how we choose our charity partners for the year. So it's put out to all the staff. So everybody gets to put forward their charity that they'd like to support. And then it goes out to a vote in the staff. So it's not me. I'm not just, I care about Cancer Fund Kids. I'm going to pick that. So it is a fair process. Everybody in the company gets to put it forward. And when I looked at the comments when the Alzheimer jersey and game went out, it really blew me away how many people had a relative or something close to them had been affected by Alzheimer's. Honestly, it really blew me away. It was affected our family. Jim had dementia initially. Took a long time to figure out what was wrong with him, and then he was diagnosed with vascular dementia, and then later on to be changed to Lewy body dementia. So totally close to my heart as well, but it did not come from me, and it is not the reason that we are doing Alzheimer's. It's nothing to do with me or Jim or anything. So lots of things going to be happening as always when we have charity nights. So firstly, and I know it hasn't thrilled everybody, but the jerseys. So they are absolutely beautiful jerseys, and they're going to be up for grabs on Share at the Back. I saw a load of people also asking for us to retail them. Just with Easter, we weren't able to get it out because everybody's working at Easter. So the jerseys are going to be retailed, and that's just probably going to go live tomorrow.
Fabulous.
We're not the only people, so it involves other people to take part in that. So everybody hopefully be back in tomorrow and get that all rolling. But yes, there will be Shirt Off the Backs. All those jerseys will be up. We'll have some people from the Alzheimer's Society on the bridge. So if you're concerned about someone in your family or someone in your family has some form of Alzheimer's and you want to go and get help, or you want to ask how they get involved with Alzheimer's Society, then absolutely head there. We'll also have bucket collections, people just walking around. They'll be on the concourse, they'll be in the suite level, they'll be in the foyer, on the stairwells. And then there'll be QR codes around the building also. As well as raising awareness, we're obviously trying to raise funds as well. So if you can spare a penny or a pound or anything, please do. What else was I going to say about Alzheimer's? And tomorrow we're having Cancer Fund for Children in at 12 o'clock. They're doing a skate with the players. And then at 2 p.m. we're having Alzheimer's Society in, and they're doing a skate with the players as well. So busy day tomorrow, so it'll be all good.
It's such it's an incredible charity. It's an incredible thing. We suffered with it in our family as well, and my granny had it. It's a terrible affliction, and I know that it hit so many people. So to raise awareness to it, and the response that was gained once that was put forward was wonderful, as it always is. On the majority, people understand why these charities are chosen, and the fact that the Giants get behind them. Autism Month.
Yes, so today is World Autism Day. Most people probably already know that Adam is the ambassador for Autism NI. But we also work with Beaver ASD group as well. That's run by one of our fans, Alison Brayton, who is an absolute legend. She is an incredible woman. And we also, Davy Phillips goes to Beaver ASD group most Tuesdays to help out as well. So we do a lot of work with different autism groups and in different ways as well. So we're going to be supporting them in their campaign this month, which is called Get Colourful. So our game on the 13th, is that the playoff game? Yeah, the 13th.
Yes.
That's going to be dedicated to autism awareness and autism acceptance. So we'll be encouraging people to wear bright colours. It's looking at like the vibrancy of the autism community, and the colours represent like the spectrum of the autism community. So we're encouraging people that there's no jersey, not asking for money. It's an awareness event. If you don't have to take part, if you don't want to, but I do feel that within the Giants fan base, there are a lot of people who have a link, again, like Alzheimer's, of somebody in their family who has autism, or another thing like ADHD, or just something that they can identify with. So I think it is something that resonates a lot with our fans, and we're looking forward to supporting that as well. And then the last thing is, so just right to flip back a second, there will be more on socials about the game on the 13th just coming up. We want to do Alzheimer's first and then give autism its place as well. Just also want to highlight, again, we'll have more on this soon, but we're approaching the first anniversary of the death of Ray Sawada.
We are.
We would like
Hard to believe.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking. And we will, as a club, as a podcast all together, we will do something to mark that occasion and raise some money for something that would have been special to Ray. So we will be having a raffle, and there will be some great jerseys up for winning on that. And then the funds will be donated to the cause that the Sawada family will pick. So we will have updates on that. But I just wanted to, when we're talking about charity stuff, highlight that that's going to be happening. I'm going to stop talking now, but just before you go to Jasmine, I don't want to steal her thunder, but I just want to give her an absolute shout out. What an incredible young person. And wow, if there were more people like her, the world would be a better place. She's a credit to herself and her family.
Here. Well, they say so. Those are Alzheimer's, the autism awareness, and of course the remembering of Ray Sawada. Laura, absolute star. It's lovely to see you. I hope to see you this weekend. We'll be popping home this weekend, so I'm looking forward to seeing you. And thanks for that. And we'll
bring
let
your
you go.
money, Patty.
What money, mate? What money? You have to speak to the boss.
You find a wee penny down there.
You speak to the boss.
Good boy. Bye, Jen. Have a good one.
Bye, Laura. Bye. Big thanks as always to Laura Small, and she set it up absolutely perfectly, because in the last couple of weeks we've been talking about the fantastic drive by Jasmine Parker to raise as many get as many Easter eggs together as she possibly can, and we are absolutely delighted to welcome the Easter Bunny herself, Jasmine Parker, to A View from the Bridge. How are you doing, Jasmine? Wow, look at those ears. Fabulous.
Thank you.
Congratulations. What made you want to do it?
Well, I started it whenever I was 6 years old. Me and my mummy were in Tesco's grabbing Easter eggs, and I asked, do the sick children hospital actually get Easter eggs from the Easter Bunny? And my mummy said she didn't know, so I asked if I could take a few up, and from there it just went higher and higher.
And you've been doing it every year since?
Yes, I've done it for over 8 years now.
Wow. Has this been the biggest year?
Yeah, this has been my biggest year yet, and I'm very happy about it.
Jasmine, thank you very much for coming on, and thank you for everything you've done with these Easter eggs.
Wonderful.
We've been talking about it for weeks and weeks on the podcast. And I don't know if you watch the podcast or not, but I love the numbers and the stats. Do you know how many Easter eggs you got this year?
Yes, I got 4,268 Easter eggs this year.
Wow.
That's quite incredible. And have you counted you were doing it from your 6, so have you been counting how many you've got over the years altogether?
Yeah, we reckon I've got over 12,000 Easter eggs over the years.
That's unbelievable. And have you moved them all on yet, the new homes, or have you still got lots to give out?
No, they're all gone. My living room's back to normal.
And it'll not be. When do you start? Because Northern Ireland, we start things early here. So when do you start collecting for Easter?
The 1st of January.
Really? Yeah, as soon as they hit the shops?
Yeah.
Jasmine, your mum and dad's house must have been freezing over the last month, because if you put the heating on, all the eggs would have melted.
No, actually, because they were all in the living room and they were all on the sofa, we just turned the radiators off in the living room and we just moved upstairs.
Brilliant. I mean, I was lucky enough to meet you at the arena the first night we were collecting. And what you've done is just absolutely phenomenal. You must be very, very proud of yourself, and your mum and dad and everybody else must be very, very proud of yourself as well, because it's there's a lot of people that do a lot of good things, but it doesn't usually come to them this early in life. And what you've done as a young teenager, you're 13 now, aren't you? Or you're still 12?
14.
14.
Wow. As a young teenager, you should be very, very, very proud of yourself.
I'm sure you are.
Yeah.
Well, so then the problem you have now, Jasmine, is that when you set this target, you have to beat it next year, don't you?
Well, no, I think 4,000 is going to be the target from now on, because my living room cannot hold more than 4,000 Easter eggs. Unless I get a warehouse, and no more.
Unless your parents start saying you have to use your room, you have to use the bathroom, you have to do all that sort of stuff.
Well, we actually had to put 200 in the kitchen.
200. See, you have a lot more self-control than I have. Because see, if there were 200 Easter eggs, see if there were like 10 Easter eggs in my house, they wouldn't be there for long. You know what I mean?
No, I think after collecting them for 8 years and just sitting and looking at them, you just kind of get sick of looking at them.
Don't want to eat chocolate for the rest of the year. Well, listen, congratulations! Like the response,
Thank you.
You can see all the people who are sending messages out who are watching live, and you know yourself the response you've got over the last number of weeks, not just from Belfast Giants fans, but from the wider community, has been absolutely wonderful, and more part of your elbow. And I look forward to next year when you go through it all again.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks, Jasmine. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me on.
Bye-bye,
Thanks,
Jazz.
Take
Jasmine.
care.
Bye.
That's absolutely fantastic from Jasmine Parker. What an absolute star, David. You know, to go through this, and I say to do it for so many years, and such an achievement.
Ark, lovely. We credit to yourself, as somebody says maybe, and their family as well. It's this kind of leads on from people like Laura setting a good example of what to do in these kind of situations. And we all tag on Laura's coattails and all, but whenever young people see older people doing good things that they want to get involved in, so it's like it's a snowball effect, and hopefully other people then are inspired and empowered to go and do what Jasmine and Laura are doing, and go and do good things for charity. You know, we're very, very, very fortunate that we've got even what I would call a very tiny platform that we can do some good stuff, and we've raised good money over a number of years now for charity. And if you have some way of raising money for charity, get involved. There's so much need out there. We've talked tonight about autism, we've talked about Alzheimer's, and I couldn't believe the outpouring of people, especially this one. You see all the good things we do, and some people come in, but there's been a groundswell of opinion about the Alzheimer's one, about not just about how nice the shirt and all is, but how many people want it because it means something to them, and my own wee granny as well, you know. And Lily's busting to get one with her name on it and stuff. So it's that's really good. And just whatever platform you have, use it to do good, because you're only here for a short while. Leave the place better than you found it.
And says it's just another example, and you see it part of the organization, but it's just another example of the connection that the organization has for these charities, for these, and to do good in Northern Ireland. Absolutely.
And you know, Davey just touched on it there. Laura's behind 99.9% of this. I know she doesn't like taking the credit for it, and she'll try and brush it off as somebody else's idea or whatever it is, but the hard work's usually done by Laura. Yes, she gets other people involved, and that's just what she's good at. But you know, everything that, such as, you know, the Cancer Fund for Children earlier in the year, obviously the Alzheimer's Society this week, but there's so much that happens behind the scenes that people don't actually see. I mean, she touched on there about tomorrow. So tomorrow morning we've got the Cancer Fund for Children kids in, and then we've got actually before that we've got the season ticket holders in for an open training session, and then we've got the Cancer Fund for Children kids, and then we've got the Alzheimer's Society. We've got another thing happening on Thursday. There's all these different things and different events that are planned, and we just run out of time sometimes. You know, it's 3 weeks to the end of the season, and there's still people wanting the Belfast Giants to be involved. That you know, the thing with Jasmine there was Jasmine's idea. She, you know, it was sort of just fell in the lap of the Belfast Giants, but all the hard work was done by Jasmine, and her mum and dad obviously driving her, you know, all around the place to pick these eggs up as well. They arrived down at the SSE Arena a few weeks ago with 2 big estate cars, and 799 eggs. We had to basically get all the boxes passed down, and they're literally, you're taking them out one by one, and here you can get another one put in there, you can get another one put in there. But it literally was such a brilliant job by Jasmine. But it's you know, to play that small part in just helping out where I can. And Davey and yourself, Paddy, we, you know, again, there's stuff there that you just go out and somebody asks you to do something. As Davey said, if you can do it, then please help out. Doesn't have to be, you know, you don't have to put your hand in your pocket a lot of these times. It's a matter of sometimes just giving a bit of time. We used to, Laura and I used to go out on a Thursday night and help the homeless people in Belfast. Didn't cost anything, just a couple of hours of time on a Thursday night, and go down and spend a bit of time and talk to people. And you know, it was definitely very, very humbling. And again, something that I have considered doing it again, but sometimes there's other things just pop into place, and you sort of run out of time. As Davey says, if you get the time to do it, go and try and do it.
Yeah, and you know, and as Laura said, you know, Alzheimer's, autism awareness, and we're remembering Ray Sawada, and also, you know, congratulations to Jasmine. What an absolutely remarkable achievement, and big thanks to her for coming and joining us. Right, gents, let's have a look at some of the ice hockey. We've got some people dropping in, whatever, and we got guests dropping in. We'll drop them in and out as we go along. Let's keep this a bit fluid. We'll start with the game that took place last Wednesday night in the Calbon Arena in Cardiff, a 5-3 win for the Belfast Giants. Goals for the Giants coming from Josh Roach, Daniel Tedesco, Greg Prince, Ben Lake, and then Tedesco with the fifth. Josh Batch, Evan Mosey, and Trevor Cox were the three scores for the Cardiff Devils. Jackson Whistle in nets, 35 shots on, 3 goals against the other way. Tyler Wall, 31 shots on, 5 goals against. Your refs were Matt Rose and Stephen Matthews. Davey, I like this, and I liked it a lot.
Yeah, and like we were good through periods, we were sloppy through periods, and we were convincing enough through probably towards the end of the game. We came up and got into that lead. It was, and again, we controlled all 3 zones. We got them turned. We got the puck dumped in behind them. We turned them and we went and won it back. And that's where the first goal comes from. It comes back to Josh Roach on the point, and he puts it in on net. Wall and a mix of a D-man, make a bit of a hash of it, and it ends up in the back of net. 1-0. Giants go on, I think, score another one through Daniel Tedesco. Very similar goal, very similar position. He, I know Roachy threw it from the outside there, but just in on that angle on Wall. And he should probably, there's a bit of a fly screen on him, to be fair. So it's a good one thing about Daniel Tedesco, and says sees him a lot more from us. High skill player, but a very quick release. Bit like Quinn Preston early season. Gets the puck off his stick really, really quick when he gets those little opportunities. And they peg one back, got one. This is their goal that they get pegged back. Will Collin takes a hit into the boards and he's stunned and he's down on the ice. Had to go off for some treatment. He was off for 10 minutes or whatever. But it's a bit of a lucky turnover, and they end up with a 2-on-1, and they're able to pick it off at the blue line there and make a move. I think it's Batch on the back. I can't remember whether it was Batch or not on the back post. It is Batch. There he goes, and he fills the empty net, and we'll get ourselves back in front. And then, of course, as we've been doing all season long, you can see the short-handed goal. I think that's what I'm talking about, being sloppy. We have to be, and it happens again on Sunday night at the end of a penalty kill, just as we're on a 5-on-3, just as they jump out of the box. We unfortunately turn the puck over and they go down the ice. Not a short-handed, but it's kind of similar vibe. Evan Mosey breaks away. But that third period, we came out and we controlled everything. We controlled face-offs. We controlled where the puck was in the ice. We controlled the pace of the game. Listen, and another shout for it, Jackson Whistle in the first period of that game stopped it being a turkey shoot. He was absolutely sensational through the first period of that game. Kept us in it. Yes, we got ourselves a bit behind, but we managed to claw our way back and get in front. And once we got that goal in front, I think it's Ben make a bit of a diving play. And then Tedesco comes up with a lovely play down centre ice, just cuts inside and takes the early shot again to make it 5. Really, really good performance. So much to like, and a bit like Sunday night as well. We came out on the wrong side on Sunday night, but a lot to like from the performance.
Experience that gives you complete control of your music, so you can listen without.
You all right there, Simon?
No. Flipping laptop. It's doing my head. I'm trying to be fancy and use 2 laptops. It just doesn't work.
Listen, let me bring you in on this. Obviously, in the second period, the Cardiff Devils hit twice quickly, including a short-handed goal. We get a quick timeout called from Adam Keefe, and we turn it around.
Yeah, and again, it's times like that when you get 2 goals in a place like Cardiff, and they score within, I think it was about a minute each other from memory loss, because again, so nearly a week ago. But they get 2 quick goals. Adam just takes the energy out of the building, because the crowd were getting behind them. You could hear it on the webcast. Davey was obviously there, and he was right on and with regards to seeing exactly what was happening. But it was a smart move by Adam. We sort of regained a bit of composure, managed to get a goal, and then take the lead again. It was just a really decent performance. Davey just touched on there about how good Jackson was. And he's been great. He had another really solid game on Saturday night in Belfast, and he followed up with another decent performance on Sunday, which we'll go on to talk about. But it's that top line of Lake, Goodwin, and Tedesco when they're playing, and when they're moving their feet and they're in the mood. They're a tough line to stop. I can't remember who it was said. Somebody said to me, maybe Davey actually, they're on par with the top line of the Sheffield has been at their peak times this season, with regards to scoring goals and important goals at that. When you look at we're going to touch on Player of the Month later this month, but when you look at where the points are, Lakers got 11 points this month. Daniel Tedesco's got 10, or Goody's got about 7 or 8. But when you get those moments, you just need to capitalize on them. And Cardiff's a tough building to go into. I thought we actually rode our luck quite a bit in the third period as well. They come back with a big push back and try to get back into the game. They're coming off, I think they'd lost 2 games in a row, or maybe, previously lost to Sheffield the week before as well. But it's solid to get the 2 points. It's never an easy place to go into, but it was a decent performance, and hopefully one that we can certainly build on pushing in the last couple of games of the season again, especially this weekend against Sheffield.
Call it Jacob Friend at the end, Davey, in the last minute again in a fight, and he's kicked from the game.
For a game that was effectively a dead rubber, it was a difficult game. I felt that before the game, I like to look at the odds of different little things that you could have a punt on, but it was hard to pick anything because it was so hard to know what way both teams were going to come out, because yes, you want to keep momentum going for the playoffs and you want to do this and that, but effectively Cardiff at second, so not, we're definitely going to finish third. It would have taken quite a round of results over the next 3 weeks for us to chip them into second. That happens, it's now fixed. So it was always going to be hard to see what's coming, but it was a remarkably chippy game. There was a lot going on. Line changes, a lot going on off the puck, and I just think he's left a little bit of a hit on Jacob Friend, and he's just said, right, well, if you're going to do that, you're going to have to answer.
It's the same guy that hit him into the wall when they were there in Belfast in November.
Yeah. So he's just had enough, and he's thrown him down. And
I spoke to Jacob, and Jacob offered him out. I said him just before that, let's go, and you've got to pay for what you did. And Jacob
glued on, mate. Love glued on. He didn't fancy it whenever it came to it. So it is what it is. He got through out of the game. There's only a few minutes left, and didn't affect the result in any way. So I like to see that. I like to see, these guys have long memories, and like to see there may be other opportunities for them. You never know.
Let's get the post game from Adam Keefe and Pete Russell.
Sloppy, I think, from both teams. I thought that there was probably too many scoring chances either way for both teams. Obviously, I thought Jackson Whistle gave us a chance there in the third period with some real big saves, and we ended up getting one of our own there to kind of give us the lead, and then we're just trying to do what we could to hang on to that, and obviously we're happy with the 2 points.
I think it was a great game, but I think we had enough chances to win a hockey game, and I thought we gave up some bad goals. I thought the last 2 goals were loose. I thought the first goal was loose as well, but Jackson Whistle played really good there, really good. He made some big saves. We had quite a few 2-on-1s and backdoor plays, and I think you got to bury them.
Highlights of that game are available on YouTube from Cardiff Devils TV, and we'll return to the Devils obviously later in the show when we come to that. But we're going to bring in another guest, a man who we've mentioned on this show. When he gets involved in this show, he sends things into this show on a regular occasion. Last time I saw him was on his birthday, and we talked to Kohei Sato a few days later in regards to the Man of the Match award he presented. It is, of course, the incomparable Jeff Baum Sr. How you doing, mate? You okay, Jeff?
Doing great. How are you guys? Dave, I love that.
So, give us your take on, because obviously this is Jeff's third season. Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us? Seems to be a bit of a delay.
Good.
Definitely a delay. This has been Jeff's third season with the Belfast Giants, and he seems to enjoy it year on year. As do you.
I can't hear you.
Okay. Jeff, we might have to come back to you. We'll drop you out and see if you might need to reset. Okay. We're going to come back into us, and we'll have you join us after we chat about the Clan game. Thanks to Jeff. We'll come back to him. Davey can take that off now.
Take two again in a minute.
What we'll do is we'll give Jeff a little bit. We'll talk about the Clan game, and then we'll give Jeff.
Maybe that way round. Maybe it should be that way round.
We'll come back.
I'll keep it on.
Him. You keep it on, mate. Suit you.
We're talking about Clan. We're talking about Cowboys. So
we'll talk about the Clan. Belfast Giants returned to the SSE Arena for their final regular season battle against the Glasgow Clan, and what a battle that was. A 5-0 shutout for your Giants. Aaron Azarian, Bobby McIntyre, Kieran Long. McIntyre with his second of the game on the power play. And David Goodwin with the fifth goal. With regards to stats for the goalkeepers, Jackson Whistle with a 33-shot shutout, and Andy Caroline 38 shots against, 5 goals against. Andy Dalton was your referee, and so was Stephen Matthews. Simon, I like this a lot.
Look, obviously, we win 5-0 at home. You think it's an easy game. It really wasn't. There was moments when they put us under a bit of pressure. Do I agree with Jason Morgan in his after-game interview, which you're probably going to bring on here in a few minutes? Absolutely not. He said they put our net under a lot of pressure. They had a couple of chances. You'd expect Jasmine. You'd expect Jackson to make those saves. There was one or two that he made big saves at times. But again, you're just asking your goaltender to give you a chance to win. He did that last Wednesday night in Cardiff, which we did. He followed that up with a game in Belfast on Saturday. But we scored a really quick goal in the first period. We scored a really quick goal in the second period. We took control of the game. At no point at all did I feel that we were going to lose that game, especially after we got the second goal. I just thought we were in total control. Yes, as I say, they had a couple of chances, but very physical battle. I mean, if the puck moves down the ice here, and within the next 10 seconds, Ben Lake absolutely hammers Gary Hayden. I think it's just coming up here now, cuts to the middle, and Gary Hayden, their top point scorer, didn't want to know the rest of the game. So it's things like that basically people just sort of maybe miss, and Laker played really well. He got he came up with another couple of big hits. We just, again, their defense they're short-handed a wee bit. They're struggling. The big lad Roach wasn't playing. And when you get the goals like that, you're dancing right into the middle of the net a minute into the game. Something's not right with regards to your defense. Yes, they maybe couldn't get off the ice quick enough, but that's their problem. They need to basically, get to the bench when they have the opportunity. You see the defenseman coming back into the play here again, but I think that's Reddick that sort of just gives up on the play and just leaves it alone. And I had Alex Forbes playing defense as well at one point, but that effort by Jake Bolton, that's not good enough for your first line defenseman. That's just not good enough. You basically need to be hitting Nazarian there as he coming in instead of just trying to get a stick on it. You need to basically making an effort to get at him. And I just thought we absolutely dominated. 5-0 we probably could have scored more, but again, coming up with the result on Saturday at home in front of an sellout crowd was a good game.
Davey, I agree with what you said, especially when Jason Morgan was talking about how he felt that the team was putting pressure on. At times, mate, this felt like a training game.
I think all that game really lacked from us was more goals in the first period. I think the domination that we had in the first period in terms of possession and stuff probably should have seen us with a couple more, at least one more goal in the first period. Might have taken a little, but coming out very quickly and having that little penalty shot competition for 10 minutes, the ref started calling penalty shot after penalty shot. I haven't seen that for a while.
There were a lot of penalty shots in that first period.
Or second period.
Second period, sorry.
But I think, was it David Goodwin was on last week and he was talking about critiquing goalkeeping, and it's such a special position. He's away. He's got the Jets on here. Like, to be fair, all three calls on the penalty shots are penalty shots. So in terms of officiating, like, they got all three calls right. I felt on Greg Prince's penalty shot, the goalie loses his stick very easy, shall we say. Not going to say through it. Princey's right foot boot kind of catches it as well, but certainly comes out of his hand fairly handy. But not the critique of goalkeeper, because don't know enough about the special position. Giddy was saying last week, but Jackson was just lovely and aggressive. He was out of his blue paint quick. He's moving left or right quick. He's playing with a level of confidence that's sort of, 7-8 wins in a row now for him. He's taking points in every, sort of his last 10 games. So, he's playing with confidence. And I just think it just lacked another couple of goals from us to make it even more comfortable. But as Simon said there, yes, they put us under pressure a couple of times in the game, but I don't think at any point we were under the pump at all. It's a fairly comprehensive performance and win.
You say that, and you said about Jackson Whistle. We will return to Jeff Baum Sr., who is waiting in the wings, but it seems a good point to bring in the man who's not got this shutout. It's Jackson Whistle. How are you doing, Jackson?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing really well, mate. Doing really well. Give us your take on this game. You seem to be seeing things like a beach ball.
Which game was it? Sorry, the
Glasgow game against the Clan. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good game. Obviously, I thought the guys came out really well. Kind of just what you guys are talking about right now. I thought we did, kind of controlled a lot of it. I think they had a pretty good push in the. It didn't really feel like a 5-0 hockey game. They had a pretty good push, I think, in the second half of the second period, where they kind of turned it on. We kind of killed their wave there in the second half, and then kind of took over in the third.
As Davey says, what's that? Is that 10 wins in a row for you now?
I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you. Obviously, lost the last one there in Cardiff, but no, it's been going well. And, like I said, the team's been playing great, so just want to kind of keep it going. Good timing kind of heading into the playoffs.
That momentum, gaining that momentum, how difficult is it to sustain? Especially as a goalkeeper.
What do you mean, sorry?
I said, when you're a goalkeeper and you're gaining wins and how difficult is it to sustain that momentum?
I think
to work hard.
Yeah, you just kind of keep going, right? You kind of keep battling, working hard. And I think, the biggest thing, obviously, is being a goalie is not getting too high, not getting too low, and just kind of taking every game, every day as it comes. So we just approach the game the exact same way, no matter who we're playing. Prepare the same way and kind of get ready for that. And then once you go into the game, obviously, you're battling there to try and get the win. Obviously, we have the 2 games coming up this weekend and then right in the playoffs.
Wes, obviously, you took that injury sort of towards end of October, kept you out sort of the whole of November, pretty much the whole of December. You came back in really when Besco went to Team Canada, and then not going to say the break helped you, but did it give you more energy for the second half of the season?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously, I think I'd only played maybe 2 or 3 I think it was 2 Challenge Cup games maybe beforehand, and then got hurt pretty much right to Christmas, and then. Coming back, my first week back, I think it was right when Besco was gone, and I ended up playing the 4 games in the 1 week. So you're kind of right back into it. And I've kind of played a good bulk of them ever since. So it was nice it's just, you feel good, when you get to play more, you kind of get some confidence, you get to feel the puck and kind of get into rhythm. So obviously having that rest probably helped a little bit, but I think getting to play more kind of helps a lot more.
And as you've said, you are playing more than you have perhaps in a number of years now. Is that feel good for a goalie to be just always ready to go?
Yeah, no, it feels good. Obviously, we do a lot of stuff kind of off the ice to take care of our body. And this past summer, I got to go home for 3 months and really train really hard and kind of prepare myself for the season, which was nice. So, it just felt good. Obviously, the energy kind of sucked, kind of bad timing, obviously, for the way sort of things kind of ended up. But, there's nothing you can really do about it at that time. And then just trying to do the best I can when I came back.
Jackson, I think, even before you left the end of last season, and obviously being Besco was playing lights out, I think you'll agree, coming down the stretch last year when he came in from January onwards, he was absolutely brilliant. But I remember you were coming in at the start of the season, and I can't remember who it was interviewed you, but you basically said at that time, you don't want to be a bit part player, you don't want to be a backup goalie, you want to be a number one. And you've been given that chance over the last month or so, or maybe 6 weeks. But heading down into the stretch here, obviously, we had 3 big games last week, and you're up against one of your old teams this weekend in the Sheffield Steelers. Now, okay, it's probably a nothing game, or both of them are probably nothing games to some people, but as a professional hockey player, you're going into this game, you want to win this, and I'm sure the group in the room want to really win as well.
No, 100%. We don't, obviously, I know it doesn't matter for points, but as soon as you get out on the ice, you don't care. You're going out there to win. You're playing for keeps, as we like to say. So obviously, the last time I've gotten to play Sheffield once, they're in Sheffield, and we were able to steal one there, I thought. And looking forward to kind of doing the same thing this weekend. And obviously, if we get to where we want to get to, all the roads kind of look like they're going to lead through them. So, we want to do a good job against them.
And obviously, you get another chance to play against your brother. Is there? I know you probably talk to him every day or every other day, but is there banter going into the weekend? Is it, when you're doing your warm up, are you going out there and you come anywhere near my net, I'm going to hit you a blocker in the face, or is it all nice and gentle?
No, we do chirp each other a little bit from time to time. Obviously, it's more the family group chat that the chirps start flying around a little bit, making sure that better not let them score kind of thing. So it hasn't happened yet. So hopefully, keep that going.
Is that a Papa Whistle thing as well?
Oh yeah, Dave lets me know. Yeah.
Excuse me. Obviously, this season hasn't gone the way that we wanted it to, and where we are so far. Building up into the playoffs, getting that mindset effective, because obviously it's 2 games in a quarterfinal, 1 game in a semi, and 1 game in a final, and it wins you a trophy. How important is it to come through these 2 games thinking, right, well, this is actually us building?
No, 100%. We kind of maybe about a month ago, or kind of 6 weeks ago, we kind of Kiefer kind of, obviously once we knew that the league was kind of out of reach, Kiefer kind of got us into the mindset of, okay, well, we're in playoff hockey right now. You know what I mean? So we've been kind of playing with that kind of level of intensity. I would say that we've been in the playoffs already, because you're not just gonna be able to switch it on once you get to the playoffs. So we've been kind of going through that for the last, say, month or so. So we've just been building on it this whole time, including these 2 games that'll be coming up, so that when we get to the playoffs, we're already firing like on all cylinders and ready to go.
The GB training squad was announced. Where is that in your mind?
Honestly, not really thinking about it, to be honest with you right now. It's awesome to get to represent your country, and I am looking forward to the tournament, and it's good. I think the first game was against Team Canada, and someone was saying the other day that Bedard and Crosby might be playing in it, so I don't know. We'll see. But at the moment, kind of all the focus is on our team, and you want to win a trophy.
Lucas Bryan was in there as a third netminder. Obviously, we spoke about him last week and how he played for the Dundee Stars. It's great for him to get a chance at this.
Yeah, 100%. I got to practice with him once. I've spoken to him a few times. Seems like a really good guy. I thought he had a pretty good game when he came and played in Belfast the other night. It looked like he really had a really good, solid kind of foundational base and stuff like that. So looking forward to kind of working with him and Bouncy and Ewan King once we get to training camp.
And then also there are other names in there that some people recognize, not least Sam Rupp.
Looking forward to seeing Big Sam again. Love hanging out with
him. So what's preparation like for this weekend then?
Well, we actually had, obviously with the 3 games last week, we were lucky enough to kind of get a day or 2 off here. So today was more or less a recovery day. And then, we'll be back on the ice Wednesday, Thursday, pregame skate, and kind of go over Sheffield, kind of watch their tendencies, power plays, things like that, come Friday morning, and, get ready for 2 big games.
Fantastic. Well, listen, mate, we appreciate you joining us. Good luck this weekend and in the run into the playoffs.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you guys for having me.
Big thanks, as always, to Jackson Whistle. Let's just close out here the last bits of this game in regards to, and we'll get the post game, then we'll bring Jeff Baum Sr. back in. But one of the things, Davey, from the back end of this game is that the Clan just started to lose their rag.
Yeah, look, it's got to be difficult for them too. I know they're in playoff mode, and it's a real scramble down at the bottom of the league. But you find yourself 3, 4, 5 down away from home. Your mind maybe starts to turn to the next game, and you should be really closing those games out before you go and worry about the next one or what you're going to be doing at the weekend. These guys are in a battle now. They have, they want to be in the postseason as much as anybody else wants to be in the postseason, I'm sure. But they switched it off. That obviously then, and then I'm accusing them of switching it off, and then you talk about the injury to to Jeff at the end of the game.
Yeah.
I wonder about the necessity of hits sometimes in hockey, and I'm not sure that hit needs to be made, at that stage in the game. And it's ultimately it ends up with an unfortunate injury to a player. But listen, they've got problems there in Glasgow at the minute, and if they can get themselves somehow into that, listen, a win gets you from maybe 9th to 6th at the minute, so you can't say that the season's over, but they're going to have to turn it on. Who have they got? Says next 2 games.
Who?
Glasgow Clan, I've got it here, mate. I can tell you it is
Guildford and Cardiff.
Clan, yeah, Guildford away and Cardiff at home.
There's no gimmies there. Guildford away is going to be a hard game.
Yeah,
and
that's it.
Cardiff are fixed. Cardiff will maybe play a sleep, but they'll want to be getting a wee bit of momentum for the playoffs as well. And they want to keep the rest of the league honest as well. Can't be mailing stuff in to give other teams that have played 53 games. Although you should have your points gathered by 53 games all the same, but I wouldn't like to be predicting what's going to happen down the bottom end of that table yet.
Let's get the post games from Saturday with Jason Morgan and Adam Keefe.
Yeah, not a good start. Give up a goal minute in. They gained momentum. Back-to-back penalty shots. Never seen that in the game before. But we failed to capitalize on power plays. We had a penalty shot of our own. We couldn't find a way to solve whistle tonight.
It's a long season. It's getting down to the nitty-gritty now, obviously. 3 big games coming up for yourself. Tomorrow, the next game you're up, it must be a must win.
Yeah, we gotta go into Nottingham, find a way. We gotta dig deep. We gotta find a way to collect points here.
Scores didn't go your way tonight in the Elite League as well, but there's still that chance of grasping that playoff spot for yourselves.
Yeah, man, we're gonna battle right to the end. But like I said, we gotta find ways. Our top guys gotta be our top guys. I thought the goalie won them the game again tonight.
Yeah, certainly. I thought the guys came out really well and took control of the game for specifically the first 10 minutes. And I thought Glasgow had a bit of a pushback, and Jackson was big, and we got a little luck with the crossbar there. But then, in the start of the second period again, we had a good start of the second period, kind of built on our lead. Again, I thought Glasgow kind of had a pushback. I thought it certainly wasn't a perfect game, but it was a pretty good game from our guys and a lot of control of that hockey game.
Highlights of that game, of course, from Giants TV. Right, you switched to your phone. Says you're a little bit closer.
I forgot to bring my charger home from the office, man.
Right, let's try this again. Jeff Baum, Senior. Hi, mate. Can you hear us, buddy?
Try to talk, Dave.
Yes. Oh, we can hear you now. We can hear you now, Jeff.
Okay, you're coming good through. Patrick's coming beeping through.
Okay, cool. How are you?
There you are. Hi, Simon.
Hey, Jeff. Good lad. Well
There
done.
he is. There he is.
That's better. You keeping well?
I'm there.
I'll go, Paddy, because I don't know whether I can hear you or not. Can you hear me, Jeff?
I can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How's it? How's things in Texas? How you doing?
Doing good. It's a little bit better weather here.
I'm gonna preempt Paddy's question because I heard him earlier. He was saying, Jeff's been here 3 years now. He's doing really well. You seem to be really involved in his career, albeit you get here as often as you can, but you're pretty active on like social media and stuff, and you like following what he's doing.
Oh yeah, it's been great these last 3 years, watching him grow, and the whole Belfast fans and the way they take care of everybody, the best fans out there.
Obviously, you followed Jeff's career right through juniors and through college and stuff, and obviously he's now ended up in Belfast as sort of as pro debut, and he's came through those 3 years. He's a leader in that locker room. Now, you must be really proud of what he's achieved.
Oh, 100%. And, going back to Providence when he played the friendship game in Belfast, I always thought this would be a really cool place. And here we are, 7-8 years later, and he's still here.
Did you expect, whenever he came here for year one, were you hopeful that he'd stick it? Were you expecting that he would stick it? Were you expecting that he'd take the pro hockey just the way he did? And then you look at some of the partnerships he's had with the likes of Mark Garside and stuff, and now he's the guy taking other younger guys under his wing, albeit only 3 years into his pro career.
Yeah, I expected it. He's always done that in his career, playing with guys in college or juniors, playing with the younger guys or being that leader. He's always been that type of, always worn a C on his sweater from the time he was 13 years old all the way through. He had a C or an A on his chest, so he's always been that leader.
Hiya, Jeff. Nothing.
Oh no!
There
you are.
We're gonna have to take the interview over.
I'll keep going here. Let's talk about you, Jeff, because we've got you on. Obviously,
yeah.
Said at the start there, pretty active on social media and became a bit of a fan's favorite yourself.
Yeah, really, social media, the car business is what I'm doing. But when JB got over to Belfast, I was getting a lot of requests, thinking I was Jeff. So it kind of just took off from there. And then the whole LFG it really took off.
Yeah, I think it's on that.
Yeah, it's on the back of your hat there. Yeah.
On the back of my very first Stetson, my man. But here we have we put some questions out to the fans, and we've got one guy here would like to ask a question.
What's up, sir?
Hey, what's up, JB?
Hey, how we doing?
Doing good.
My question to you is, what's been your favorite hockey moment so far? And through pros, through juniors, college, what's been your favorite moment? If you could pick one.
In your career?
Yeah.
Or my career?
We'll go with your career first.
No, I'll go with yours. Their goal against Cardiff last year.
Playoff final.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
To be there as well, Jeff.
To be there was even better. Yeah.
To be there in person, the magnitude of the goal, what it meant, going for the grand slam, coming up with that, such an important goal. Mark Garside, I think, feeds a wee backhand, no look backhand pass back to the top of the circles and
don't see
put
that
it on
often.
net, Jeff, and good things happen.
That's right.
Get lucky every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were some big goals last year too, Jeff. Well, seeing you put it there, we'll call you Junior there. There's some big goals, Junior. I think you'd won against Guildford in the big game as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I think in the league winning game. Yeah, I think the tying goal in the second.
Yeah, and he was going to dump the puck and not skate it in either.
Yeah, I was going to. I think it was Laker was skating. I can't remember who was driving through the middle, but they started screaming skate, 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 and I was about to dump the puck, but then somebody yelled skate, skate, so I turned it up and then shot it and went in.
And did you ever think, Jeff Jr., that your dad would be quite the celebrity? That is it not supposed to be the other way around?
No, I mean, I had a little bit of an idea. My dad's a very welcoming person, and I think that I knew that when he got here and people got to know him a little bit, that he'd be welcomed. He's always been a huge support in my career through juniors and college, and all my teammates have always really appreciated the support that he gives to us. So I think that coming here has just been a whirlwind adventure for the both of us.
I know. I think, as sorry to cut across there, I think that we're very lucky that we get to talk to all you guys, and so many of them reference their parents, how big an influence they are on their lives and their hockey careers. And because of social media and because of webcasts and because you can get over to Belfast as well, you get to see so much of a career now that perhaps in years gone by, it would have been a phone call after the game to sort of give you a bit of feedback on what happened. But, you're absolutely a part of Jeff Jr.'s career here.
Oh, yeah, it's been great. Especially, I guess we'd have to move there if we weren't able to be listening to Simon and watching the games through webcast.
There's definitely worse places to live, Jeff. What are you looking? So 3 big weekends of hockey left here with the doubleheader, Sheffield. We've got 2 games against an unknown opponent yet to try and get to the big dance, and then we've hopefully got the playoff weekend. What are you hopeful for, Senior? What are you hopeful for the next 3 weeks?
Hopeful that we get back to Nottingham in that final game, and hopefully Six is back in the lineup.
Yeah, well, we'll not ask for anything there on that yet. But listen, we'll have to kick on. We've over 500 people watching you, Jeff. Have you got a wee message for your Belfast Giants fans before you go?
Best fans in all of hockey. The best.
Well, I think, Jeff,
LFG.
we really LFG. We appreciate all your feedback and all on social media, and I love the stats, and so I appreciate that, Jeff. And hopefully get to see you maybe before the end of the season. You never know.
Never know. Simon, instead of Vegas, come to Dallas this summer.
Sounds like a plan.
Cheers, Senior. We're going to keep Junior on so you can stay tuned in. Speak to you soon.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
See that.
I don't know whether Paddy or you and Sis back in the room here. Sorry, but
Can you hear me, Jeff?
Yeah, we're all good.
Oh, there you go, Paddy. You're back. Fly away there.
Well, I think that the first question is, how's the injury?
It's all right. Just
seemed to be a bad twist.
Yeah, just letting the body take care of itself right now. Just unfortunate kind of little situation getting tangled up like that.
It is. It's difficult, especially, and then you were trying to get off the ice and get the game. What was your take on the weekend?
I thought the first game we did a good job of controlling. I like what you were saying earlier, Kitchy, about that feeling of never a doubt. I felt the same way throughout the whole game. I thought that, which is a good thing to kind of get that going into playoffs right now. The second game against Cardiff, I thought was just, when you play teams like that, it's a hard fought game. I can't give them any room, and they just capitalize. And mistakes at this time of the year are costly.
Interesting this season, obviously. We said earlier on the Jackson and whatever, but how it's not really the way we wanted it to be this season. We still have this one trophy to play for, and you were on the ice and you scored, and the elation it is to win that playoff final. There must be a real thirst there to do it again.
For sure. I mean, I think right now everybody's pushing and pulling in the same direction. We're all trying to accomplish the same thing together, and I think that. For me personally, it's something I want to give not just to the fans, but to this group of guys. Want to experience what it's like to win in this league and have that moment. And I think it's been an up and down season, and there's no better way to end the year than with a win. And I think that's something we're pushing for our fans and for each other.
Jeff, obviously, this season is, as Paddy just touched on, it hasn't turned out the way we had hoped it had. But your first 2 years in Belfast, you couldn't have done much more, and you couldn't have been much happier with the way things had went. And I'm sure it probably made it an easier decision to come back this season for sure.
Yeah, I mean, 5 out of 6 in 2 years, you can't complain there. So I think it was, a blessing for me to be able to have that experience my first 2 years. And also think that this year, looking back on it when the season's up and done, I think it's going to be also a blessing. It's a learning experience to go through the struggles and the highs and the great times that can come from winning, and then also that sense of pride and sense of you've gone and accomplished something when you've come out of the dumps and look back on things and be like, that's where we were a while ago and look where we are now. So I think that journey back to our standards is going to be fun.
And again, when you look at what you've got in front of you now between now and the end of the season, we know you've took a knocker on Saturday, and hopefully you do get good news to get back in the lineup. But the group itself, this year seemed to be every time we got somebody back and healthy, more or less the same game, or the next game somebody else basically dropped out. Matty, we got Princey back 2 weeks ago. Matty dropped out the same game, for God's sake. It's just been that one of those seasons where it's, as I say, it's just been injury after injury after injury. And when somebody's out of the lineup, it gives other people the opportunity to step up. And one of those ways of stepping up, whether it be in more ice time or in a leadership group, and obviously you've had the chance now to have an A put on your chest. That must be a pretty special moment for you as well. And in my opinion, one that's absolutely thoroughly deserved.
100%.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. No, I it's an honor and a privilege to be a captain for the team. And I think that the entire locker room is full of leaders. And I think that to be one of those guys that represents the rest of the guys is an honor. And, I try and just make sure I lead with by example, and make sure that I feel everybody's welcome, and that we're all working together so that we can all accomplish the same goal and grow together as a team. And I think that that's the most important thing when you look back on the entire season.
Paddy?
For you, Davey?
No, I thought you were going to go on to the POTM stuff, man.
Well, I was going to bring it in because it's it is Player of the Month time. I thought we'd get your take on the Player of the Month. So obviously we put it out to the good people about who they thought would be the nominees for March's Player of the Month, and the 4 who are up for this month's vote are: number 1, Jackson Wessel. Number 2, number 2, Jacob Friend. Number 9, Ben Lake. I was with us last week. Number 64, David Goodwin. We will be opening all the votes and stuff tomorrow morning. That's Wednesday morning. It will go until Friday, and you'll be able to cast your vote as to who you believe will be the View from the Bridge Player of the Month for March. A big thanks to Phonocab for sponsoring it. Who am I going to start with? Well, I'll come to you last.
Start with yourself, Paddy.
Well, me? Well, I'll start it. It's going to be Jackson Whistle. Next, Davey.
I suppose I have to give everybody a mention statistically. I think Brendy's been great. +8 for the month. Will Cullen on the back end as well, +11. You talk about Goodwin, Conway, Pickenich from the other year. Goodwin, Conway, Steve Arey last year. Goodwin, Lake, Tedesco. You almost have to take them as a 3 every time. It's very unfair to pick one of the 3 and say, he's the player of the month, because they feed off each other. They've all been great since David Goodwin came back in. So, Laker's probably my Laker. He's been outstanding. But Jackson Whistle, 9 games, 7 wins, 1 overtime win and 1 overtime loss. 94.72% save percentage. He's been lights out the whole March. He's had to play the whole month. He's been great. And it's not going to be the first time. I think he's had his name on it a few times in yesteryear as well.
He has indeed. Simon?
Jackson Whistle for me. Davey just touched on his stats. I mean, Friendly's had a great month. Backer with Cully, it's no, when you get this late in the season, and again, we've found it very difficult to have any consistency this year. But when you look at those stats that Davey's just touched on for Jackson, and 7 wins in regulation, 1 in overtime. That's excellent stats. I mean, that's ultimately that's basically form that gives you an opportunity to win a championship, and that's all you're asking of him. So hopefully, he just continues on this weekend. I don't know what's the coach's thoughts with regards to this weekend. I've absolutely no idea right now, but I'm sure I'll find out in the next day or so. But he's right now, and I'm going to say this as we touched on it last week, Besco's been the best goalie that's ever wore a Belfast Giants jersey. And on a form that he had last year. But right now, and by the form between the two of them, Jackson's edging it and thoroughly deserves where he is right now.
And Jeff Baum, what's your shout for the Player of the Month for March?
Number 1 on the ice, number 1 in my heart.
Gotta be Jackson Whistle. Gotta be Jackson Whistle. Why?
I think so as well. I mean, Jacob Goody and Laker have all been so solid all month, but for me, it's Jackson, and I think the rest of the guys would agree with me as well. I think he's been lights out for us, and seeing how hard he's worked to come back from injury and to battle and to see him standing strong and put up the numbers he has been a lot of fun to sit back and watch.
Well, as I said, the vote will start 9 a.m. on Wednesday morning. You choose between these 4. It'll run till Friday. You get that on our @AVFTB on Twitter or X. And the links will be on all our other socials as well. Run that through to Friday, and the Player of the Month for March will hopefully be presented at the weekend. Big thanks, as always, to Phonocab for sponsoring the award. And a big thanks to Jeff Baum for stepping in, jumping in, and thanks for joining us, mate.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
Cheers.
Big thanks to Jeff Baum for you dropped scissors there as well. Big thanks to Jeff Baum for popping in, saying hello to his dad. Also a big thanks, of course, to Jeff Baum Senior. I quite enjoyed just taking a back seat there, Davey. Sorry about that. Don't know what happened.
No, he couldn't hear you. He texted, "Can't hear Paddy." So sorry about that, mate. I didn't mean to.
Nah, that's right. Sometimes my wife wish she had that as well. We do have one more game quickly to batter through here, boys, and then we'll start to wrap things up. It was a 4-3 win in Cardiff for the Cardiff Devils, an overtime win. Evan Mosley, Riley Brandt, Cody Donnelly, and Marcus Crawford with the game-winning goal in overtime. For the Giants, Sean Norris opening scoring for the Giants. Greg Prince with another goal, and Ben Lake with the third. In nets, Jackson Whistle, we just spoke about him, 30 shots on, 4 goals against. The other side, Ben Bounds, his GB teammate, 37 shots on, 3 goals against. Matt Rose and James Irons were your referees. Davey, I liked the other 2 games. I didn't like this one.
You didn't?
Well, I thought, do you know what? That's not fair.
Didn't like the result?
I didn't like the result. I thought that we started off really, really well. I thought we looked really strong. And then we dropped those 2 goals mid to late way through the period, and I was hoping we'd find a way back. And once again, actually, another well-used timeout by Adam Keefe.
Yeah, and we did find a way back, which shows a lot of grit, shows a lot of character, and we probably just had a couple of little whiffy mistakes that, you cut those mistakes out and it's a different result. There was so much to like about this game, so much, and sometimes you don't get rewarded in hockey, on the nights that you play well, and sometimes when you don't play well and you lay an egg, you sometimes come away with a result. And I just thought that out of the two games, this was our out of the two games in Cardiff over the last 7 days, this was a better performance than last Wednesday night. Like I there's so much we've outshot them, we've out zone timed them, I just think we did so many good things. Curtis' mistake, I guess, for the breakaway goal, just coming off a 2-minute 5-on-3. I think it was can't remember who took the penalty, but it was for unsportsmanlike. That there was a slashing call or something, and somebody said something to the refs, and they don't always call that. And put us on a full 2-minute 5-on-3 on the fresh ice. There was only like 20 seconds or something left in the period, so it came out and unfortunately we've coughed that goal up and then left ourselves a big tip in front there. There's nothing the goalie can do with that. No boxing out, but just unfortunately, I think we've taken a delay game penalty right at the end. We've iced the puck. To be honest, when they got themselves into the lead, just iced the puck and took their chances at winning face-offs and clearing their zone. It didn't really try to keep pressure on us and somewhat opened the door for us to allow us back in. And we booted it up the hall and came flying back into the game and goes to overtime 3-on-3 with a great chance. I'm going to say it has to be a set player, else it's just absolute genius, because Tedesco goes down the wing and he just takes a little roll back and a no-look pass to Goody, who's hitting the slot at 90 mile an hour, and he goes down the centre ice and he gives the old Shane Johnson head fake and sails Ben Barnes and hits a post, and unfortunately for us it goes up the other end and ends up in the back of the net. 3-on-3 overtime, anything can happen. It's better, I think Sis can talk about it. I think 3-on-3 is a better invention than going to penalty shots anyway, so it gives so many. The 3-on-3 overtime only lasted 3 minutes, but there was chances after chance after chance, so it's a good spectacle. Unfortunately for us, we came out on the wrong side of it, but if that's a regular season, like our last 15 games, we're top of the form league. And if you take what was said about Jackson, or what have I said, 8 wins, albeit one in overtime, 2-point game and a 1-point game the other night. So what's that? 7, 8, 16, 17 out of our last 18 points. That's championship form. And all we can hope is these guys can just keep rolling, get hot. It was like Joel always used to say, don't let these Belfast Giants get hot. And, good goaltending, good defense, and you're starting to get secondary and tertiary scoring. Sean Mars coming up with a goal. Great. And who knows what can happen in the next 3 weeks.
That's 2 weeks in a row we've used the word tertiary. Well done, Davey. It was Sis last week. So one of the things as well, we're 3-2 down in this game. We get that late goal by 55 minutes, 5 minutes to go. We get that equalising goal from Ben Lake, and it's then as well I start to believe that you start to believe like the momentum's changed here. We were gaining momentum, and when it does go to overtime, I honestly thought we were going to take it. We didn't. That's just the way things bounce.
It is, and look, again, Cardiff are coming off the back of a defeat against us and the defeat against Sheffield the night before. So you knew that they're going to be ready to go. And we certainly had our chances to, a couple of really great A chances to win in overtime. But it's the thickness of a post, and you basically get an extra point, and you go into the month, end of the last weekend of the season and in great form. But just following on what Davey had mentioned there about, really good form, getting into it in 15 points or 17 points, whatever it is, from the winning positions. And we've had the opportunity at a 5-on-5 against every team in this league. And to be very honest, when we've got our best team on the ice, then I think we've got a really good shout at beating anybody. When you look at the games that we've had this season with our best team on the ice, you could probably count them in just maybe one hand with a couple of extra fingers. It's basically been, we started off the season incredibly well, and picked up so many injuries throughout the year. And when we're going on all cylinders and everything's firing, and your goaltender's playing well, you've got an opportunity to win. And I think that, it's a really good time for us to to play against Sheffield Steelers. Now, I touched on it earlier, and I know Davey talked to Rob Dowd, and we're going to listen to that shortly as well. I haven't listened to the interview, but they're obviously feeling very comfortable and coming into this weekend. Even last weekend, they sort of had a party on the ice last week, and still come out and won 2 games at the weekend. We would have done that last year as well. It's just the way it is. When your luck's in, your luck's in. But every team in this league is going to try to do whatever they can to make sure that Sheffield don't win 3 trophies. They did everything they can last year to make us, and obviously failed. So the Steelers are going to be feeling really comfortable coming into this weekend. I've already touched on, it's a nothing series. The 2 games are nothing to the majority of people, but you want to win them. It's that simple. You want to go into this weekend with getting 4 points. You want to get 2 positive performances. You want to get 2 positive results, and then take it into the following weekend with whoever. You've got 5 teams to choose from, for goodness sake, on who you're going to pick for a playoff opponent the following week. But hopefully, again, we can we've hit form at the right time, and hopefully we can string 2 wins together when it matters.
We have a few things to do before we wrap up the show, but let's get the post game from Sunday first of all.
It was better than last night. A lot better. I thought the guys showed how much they care. People question if they care or not. I thought their compete was really good. I thought we were good defensively. Bouncy had a good bounce back game. Our power play was dangerous. It was unlucky with a few good looks. PK was good, and I thought we're best players. I think you need that, and I think they really, they took control. It was a good game. The Belfast pushed back in the third period for sure, but I thought we were good after about 8 minutes, 10 minutes, and then I thought we were good in the second period, and I think we played solid defensively in the last period. Put them under a little bit of stress after last night, and we don't want to do that too often, but they responded to it. But it was good. Proud of the guys tonight.
I thought that was a pretty good game of hockey between 2 pretty good teams. Not a whole lot on the line in terms of where everybody is in the standings, but I think a little bit of pride for both teams. Obviously, Cardiff losing 2 in a row, coming home, one of the big performances. We expected their best. I thought they came out pretty hard. I thought our guys did well as well. A couple mistakes kind of cost us the lead and give up that lead to Cardiff, but I thought our guys battled back, and especially there in that third period, they felt like they weren't going to be denied to get that tying goal, so that was a huge point for us.
And the highlights of that game are available from on YouTube from Devils TV. Right, quickly, league news, blah, blah, blah. There's only real one bit of league news, and that is, of course, the playoff race. I'm actually going to bring up the bottom of the table just as part of the discussion, and it's starting to heat up, and we've got it's going to be a real battle over the next week as to who is going to drop out in this 9th and 10th spot. This weekend, it was a tough weekend for the Blaze. They lost 4-1 to the Panthers and only gleaned a point in overtime against the Flames. Panthers took a point off the Flyers but lost to the Clan. They sort of those 3 teams all battling each other. Dundee smashed both the Storm and the Clan in the last week to help their cause somewhat, and the Flyers came off their loss in Nottingham with a 5-2 win over the Flames. So what's left? Well, the Panthers are away to the Storm and then home to the Storm on Saturday and Sunday. The Blaze are at home to the Storm, away to the Cardiff, and away to Guildford. The Stars have 3 games, away to Cardiff, and then that home double against the Flyers. They're in Dundee on Saturday, in Kirkcaldy on Sunday. And for the Flyers, the only other game they have is tomorrow night, Wednesday night against Sheffield. And then the Clan, as we mentioned earlier, at Guildford on Saturday and versus Cardiff on Sunday. You can throw a blanket over all 5 of these teams. 49 points for the 3 of them, regards to Dundee, Fife, and Glasgow, with Glasgow having played 1 extra game. 48 points for the Coventry Blaze, who do have that 1 game in hand on the Glasgow Clan. And Nottingham have it all to do. I think they literally can get a maximum of 50 points, and they're the ones, Davey, who are up against it. I don't see them making it.
It's certainly going to be tough for them. it would give them certainly big momentum then to go into Ice Sheffield in front of 1,500 fans, no away fans probably, and all up against it to try and qualify for the big dance at their own barn. But it's going to take, they're going to have to win both games. I'm not sure what I haven't read anything about Manchester, Guildford. Have they already decided what way round their playoff?
Manchester's home playoff game is definitely on Saturday the 13th.
So the likelihood is then the Guildford game will be Sunday because they're unlikely to play it. I'm not saying they won't, but they're unlikely to play it on the Friday night. They're more likely to play home games on Sunday. So no matter what happens, those guys are pretty much set in those positions. So have they got a terrible lot to play for? I don't know whether there's points for points or positions. I don't know. Says like better. You get more prize money for finishing fifth, fourth, than you do for fifth. Don't know. Is there players on contracts? Perhaps I don't know. But as I said earlier about the other guys, you've got to try and have a level of sporting integrity here, that you give it your best all 54 games to give everybody their own chance of making it through to the playoffs. It would be, Manchester probably win their home game against Nottingham, lose in Nottingham. That's 48 points. That's not enough to get them through. Coventry, who have they got?
Coventry, the Blaze have the Storm on Wednesday, Cardiff on Saturday away, and Guildford away on Sunday. So only one home game out of the three.
That's going to be tough for them. It could be set the way it is there, and then it's the jockeying for positions between Dundee, Fife, and Glasgow. Glasgow have maybe just done enough to squeak through there. Teams below them maybe don't pick any more points up, but you know what? It'll change. Somebody will get an unexpected win. Everything's up for grabs at the minute. It would be us against Dundee, but anything can happen there. Anything.
We said it last week. It's just getting tenser and tenser. I've not seen a playoff battle like this between five teams ever. Really, I don't remember one certainly not in the Elite League era.
No, I can't remember one anywhere, Paddy. It's I think Nottingham are done. I think they had their chance there to beat Glasgow. They were 2-1 up going into the third period yesterday, and Glasgow managed to come back and get a win in overtime. So I don't think Nottingham are going to beat Manchester twice. Best of luck to them if they do. And Manchester are sort of, as Davey just touched on, they're sort of guaranteed their spot, and it's just a matter of they're already guaranteed their Saturday night game. So I don't think they're really worrying about where they play on the Sunday or where they play on the Friday. It's two games they've got to win in the playoffs to get through. So they'll be confident in their own barn because they're a decent team in their own barn. But I personally think Nottingham are done. Coventry have been on a really bad run of form of late, and under difficult circumstances as well. And I just think that it looks like they've lost the heart of the team, and they just are. It's going to be very, very difficult for them to turn it around. Tomorrow night's game for Coventry and Coventry and Manchester is absolutely huge for the Blaze. I mean, it's huge if they get any sort of chance of staying in the top 8 over the next week. But Dundee and Fife, I think they just need to have one win each just out of their last games to win or to get a place in the playoffs. And they play home and away this weekend itself. So, you talk about sporting integrity, and you'd like to think everybody, does what they have to do. But each team will look after themselves, believe you me. If they feel that they're in a good position and they're going to qualify and they've got guys injured, they're going to leave them out to basically make sure they're ready for next weekend. So it'll be interesting to see how it all ends up. But I do agree that there's going to be a surprise result or two in there for sure. But I think Nottingham are the only team for me right now that are out.
The difficult thing for the Panthers, the Blaze, and the Clan, I suppose, is the fact that they can only do what they can do and beat the teams that they have to face. They don't have a direct input in the others, whereas the Stars and the Stars and the Flyers are playing each other and will be taking points off each other. So that's that they have a direct input as to where this jockeying position really goes between each other. it's remarkable. I think that, you know, obviously this weekend we've got our eyes on the games against Sheffield Steelers. We'll talk about that in a second. But I think a lot of Elite League fans will be keeping an eye on the games involving these 5 teams, because not least, you know, we'll discover who will be playing in that 6th place. But it's just going to be very, very interesting, the stress that a lot of these fans are going to be under to see if their team make the final dance and to make that final 8 in the playoffs. We'll see this time next week. We'll know exactly who those 8 teams will be. And on that note, gents, we'll leave the news there. And what we'll do is we'll talk about the Sheffield game. And as we mentioned earlier, we got these 2 games against the Sheffield Steelers. They last week solidified their position as the number 1 seed going into these playoffs. And David had a chance earlier on to chat with the captain, former Belfast Giant, and the captain of the Sheffield Steelers. That is, of course, the one, the only Robert Dowd.
I'm absolutely delighted to be joined this evening by former Belfast Giant himself, Robert Dowd. Dowdy, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks, mate. How are you?
Thank you. Listen, first of all, happy Easter to you. How's the family and how's yourself doing?
Really good, thanks. Yeah, it was nice. We had an away game on Easter Sunday, but it was only in Manchester. So I got to spend the morning with the kids and doing Easter egg hunt and stuff like that. So we had a great time.
That's good. And let's say former Belfast Giant. Belfast Giant, what, must be over 10 years ago now? Have you been up to much since you left?
Yeah, a little bit. We've set some roots here in Sheffield. Wife's from Sheffield and that, so kids and all that are settled in school and stuff like that. But yeah, I had a great time in Belfast.
Just how big a factor is that, just being able to, I don't personally know your roots, but just to put roots down, say, in Sheffield and have somewhere that's fixed for family, bring kids up, have that sort of family location rather than being bouncing about all over the place?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. My wife's from Sheffield, so
right.
we've got a good base here, and obviously with the kids, and we live in a little village where a sister lives and a mum lives, so childcare is readily available when we're in need, because we both work weekends, so the kids get bounced around a little bit, bless them. But it's awesome to have that support unit around us.
Are they at an age yet? I don't know what age are they. Are they at an age yet?
I got a 9-year-old. I got a 9-year-old boy and a 5-year-old girl. Yeah, they love game nights. Obviously, after all the games, they like to come in and say hi to all the boys. My little boy's even his favourite players, obviously not his daddy. It's Dominic Cormier. So since him being a baby, every season we always got him a shirt with my name on it. And then this year he was like, "Daddy, can I get a new shirt?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we always do." And he's like, "But not with you on it." And I was like, "Oh, sweet." All right, mate.
It's a tough one. I've got a 10-year-old girl, and she loves nothing more than getting to the away game and just a hockey locker room. They all tap her in the head or say hello. There's something special about seeing kids in that sort of environment too.
Yeah, it's mint. It's a mint place. Like obviously they live for it. They love the home game, so they get to see all the boys and stuff. And it's a great environment. All the guys are wicked with them.
Let's look forward to big sort of regular season rounds out this week. You've obviously had not a bad year, finished as number 1 seed for the playoffs. So you're going into this weekend. What do you sort of try and take out of this weekend?
Like you said, it's a bit dead rubber as everyone's kind of set in their spots at the moment. So obviously it'll be a good game, but I think that the tempo will be a little slower than I'd say if we were both fighting for it. But yeah, I think it'll be a great game of ice hockey. Obviously, 2 very good teams going at it,
and 2 big crowds expected. This makes one forward. 2 full houses expected, and I believe Sheffield are bringing maybe up to 1,000 fans with them as well. It'll be quite a night.
Yeah, it's always a great weekend. The Belfast weekend every year is one to look forward to. Obviously, for the away fans, Belfast is an awesome city, and obviously everybody likes to come over and support us and enjoy Belfast. And the same thing every year. Belfast always bring a great crowd for those games, so it's always fun to play in front of a big crowd like that.
And I know we tongue in cheek about being number 1 seed for the playoffs and stuff, but it has been a pretty good season. It's Iron Fox obviously been building there for a number of seasons in Sheffield now and got all the jigsaw pieces in place, and it all came together. And the season not without its turmoil as well. Yeah, no, obviously you boys were fantastic last year and rounded it up, and you were very, very good. And I think Aaron did a fantastic, and Aaron and the whole team there in Sheffield did a fantastic job in the summer, bringing in the guys they did. And obviously we've been lucky enough to win 2 so far, and it's been very good. Obviously there's been
a few ups and downs in the season, and it's been obviously very emotional for the guys. So to come through that and perform the way they have has been nothing short of outstanding. And obviously going into the playoffs, we're looking obviously to grab a third, but obviously there's a bunch of very good hockey teams all fighting for that one, so it's all still up in the air with that one.
And how easy is it to keep the foot down after you've won it, and you've got I think it was Doug Christensen a number of years ago. It might even have been.
It's my year.
Played under Doug. Yeah.
It was my year when we won the league and everything like that, and then we didn't do very good in the playoffs. We won the league that year. Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Doug talked of his terminology was the collective exhale, sort of going through all the dog days and the hard bits of the season. You come and you win it a little bit early. There's a temptation there just to we're done, and then it's hard to get the foot back on the accelerator again.
100%. Obviously, Aaron and Carter are taking these games obviously to get everyone their ice time. So if guys haven't had enough ice time during the year, guys are getting ice time now, and we're resting a few guys here and there in games. So trying to get guys healthy. As you know, it's such a grind this season. Guys play with niggles for months and months and months. So these games are a good opportunity to give some guys some rest. But again, you can't go out there and lay an egg. You got to go out there and put in a performance. So you can't just switch it off and then switch it on again come playoff time. So you got to keep the motors going. But then again, you still got to rest some guys. So yeah, there'll be very, very good games.
Like I've never, and I come from a no excuse organization, so we're not going to use it as an excuse. I've never seen a season with an injury list quite like Belfast. What's it been like in Sheffield? You say boys playing through niggles, but like major injuries into the double figures in Belfast here. What's it been like there?
Yeah, it's the same every year. One team normally gets stung heavily. It's Belfast's turn this year, obviously.
We're even Taff with a broken leg this year. Like
honestly, when I saw him when he first did it, I'm like, what happened to you? Like everyone else is dropping, you can't. But yeah, this year we've had a few guys. We've had a couple of ops and stuff like that, but we've managed to keep majority healthy enough to play games, and obviously just one or two out at a time, where obviously for you guys it all seemed to come at one time, and there were some big ones as well, so you guys have had big chunks of the season playing short, where luckily for us, touch some woods, we've only had like one guy at a time that's been down, so we've managed to scrape through that way.
And probably an impossible question to answer because you've had success, quite a bit of success right through your career. Where does this one rank, captain of the team and stuff like that as well? Yeah,
this is, personally for me, this is obviously special, being first year with the letter on, with the C on my jersey to lift to like that, and to go through obviously the turmoil and the sadness that the team went through, and to come out the other end of it and lift a trophy together with a group. I think this group will be bonded for life. Obviously, we've been through some life-altering stuff together, and then to lift a trophy with them it's definitely up there with some of the top memories for me.
And then obviously the season comes to an end, only a couple of weekends away from now. You get the opportunity to roll on, get the red, white, and blue on. Are you looking forward to that as well?
Yeah, obviously, it's no secret. GB is one of my favourite times of the year. I love playing for the country, for our country, and I love getting together with all those boys. We've built a special bond in this group. We've been together a long time. Obviously, new and exciting personalities get added to the fold every year, but the core of that team, we've been together a long time, and it's great to just play with your mates that you've played for. I've played with some of these guys since we were kids, so it's awesome to pull that jersey on with those guys and obviously go and put ourselves against the best in the world.
And you talk about the best in the world, where we're talking just at the weekend, the top and stuff, keeping one eye on the NHL standings there, and it looks like Sidney Crosby could be lining up against GB in the first game.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Obviously, you always keep an eye on the standings and see how they're doing, and obviously, if guys are staying healthy, if you're going to get to play against them, but it's impressive. Like the speed of that game once you get over there is another level, and obviously playing against some of the big names is very cool. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
And that the big major difference. We've noticed it in the CHL over the last number of years, and when you're watching Team GB, they just do things at a different pace.
Yeah, the speed of it. The speed is, you have to adjust your first game or two. Obviously, when you play the friendlies, when you first get over there, that's when you try and get adjusted to it. But yeah, the speed is something else.
Well, Dowdy, listen, I'll wish you very safe travels. As Paddy would say, we never wish an opposition player good luck in Belfast, but we wish you safe travels and hope you have a fun weekend.
Cheers, mate. I'll see you over there.
Big thanks to Rob Dowd for joining us. Good chat there, Davey, and he's done well as a captain for them.
Yeah.
Do you know what? As I was asking the question, I thought to myself, Davey's just going to say yeah. And do you know what, mate? He didn't let me, man. He did let me. But no, okay.
Look, he's had 10 or 11 years since he's left Belfast, and he's gone on to really good things. I think I'm right in saying he didn't go direct to Sheffield from us. He went to Sweden or Finland or something.
Yeah,
for a year. Sweden maybe for a year, and then as obviously came back. And as he referenced at the very start, and who could argue with his reasoning behind getting somewhere settled and raising a family and wanting to be just somewhere. We all are the same. We're all dads, and we're all the best for our kids. And best for his kids was to be near family, to be near mums, to be near sisters, to be near a support network. And Sheffield's that for him. And he's got the opportunity to stay in Sheffield probably for as long as his legs will take him there. And you know, same with John Phillips when he was there as well. You know, and Dowd goes in that pantheon of players, and he's done well since he left here. Made in Belfast, but you know, obviously done well for Sheffield, of course.
I always remember, like, right at the start, because obviously he came through as he was, you know, was it Sims calls him the golden child, but you know that you know he was always a highly talented, high end British player, and I remember when he was coming through at Sheffield, and Sheffield were playing up in Newcastle. I was living in Newcastle at the time, and our esteemed friend Mark Hitchcock came up and joined us for the weekend, and we were in the Globe pub, which was just outside of the Metro Radio Arena, back when the Vipers were playing, you know, the one in the corner. We were there, and Hitchy's sitting chatting to a fella at the bar, and the fella says, "Do you play?" Hitchy says to him, "Do you play?" And the fella says, "I'm Robert Dowd," and Hitchy looks at him and goes, "Goff, you're not Robert Dowd." Hitchy ended up asking him for ID, getting his driver's license out to ensure that he was Rob Dowd. And they ended up having a drunken conversation with Rob Dowd's dad, where Rob Dowd's dad kept calling him Hutchie. But a good day. But, you know, says Dowdy's been a remarkable player in this league, and it's not surprising he was made captain.
No, not a surprise at all. And look, he's a top player. When you talk about, you know, British players playing in the league, and we talked to Tom Coolan a few weeks ago that the top teams seem to get the top British players. That's, you know, it's common sense. That's the way it works. And he's definitely up there. He's had a brilliant season for the Steelers. You know, and it must be a really special moment as a captain to walk up there for your first one and pick up a trophy. So it's it's right up there with some of the best moments in his career, I would say. But like, with no love for the orange and that side of things.
You're right, mate. No, you're right, mate.
But when you look at the bigger picture, look, we'll be wanting the boys in Teal this weekend to win, and hopefully they can basically do that starting on Friday night.
Friday night, 7 p.m. at the SSE Arena, the Belfast Giants against the Sheffield Steelers. I believe they're bringing over about 1,000 fans, maybe more. It's going to be a big one. That Friday night and Saturday night, both at 7 p.m. at the SSE Arena. And if you can't get down or you can't get a ticket, then you'll catch it on Giants TV. I'm looking forward to getting home. Looking forward to getting. Yes, they're dead. Inverted commas, dead rubbers of the game. Are they dead rubbers of the game? Because we're looking to build momentum going into playoffs, and we're going to look to build momentum going into playoffs against the number one seed. So this is the Sheffield Steelers fans will no doubt be coming over here for a party weekend and more part of their elbow. But the Belfast Giants fans and the Belfast Giants will be looking to get 2 wins as we build to see who we play in the quarterfinal of the Challenge Cup, of the playoffs. Friday 7 p.m, Saturday 7 p.m, SSE Arena or Giants TV. Any other business, gentlemen?
Yeah, couple of things. End of season event Sunday night. There are some tickets still available. You can get them on the OSC desk on Saturday evening, or they are now online as well. So if you go to the Giants socials, you can pick up the link and basically log on. There is a fee. I think it's about $150 or something like that that you pay for the online tickets. But when you pay at the OSC desk, it's £10 as usual. Hearing some things that might be happening that Sunday night. I'm not allowed to say what they are, but you do not want to miss it. So
what time is it on Sunday night? Just
starts at 7 o'clock.
Our flight's at 10.
Doors start at 7. Doors open at 6. Event starts at 7. Be over for 9.
Oh, okay. No, our flight's at 10. We have to get up the Older Grove. Not gonna happen. But it's a good event. Good event. I know it's been really popular the last number of years. So hopefully the Giants fans will get out in numbers for that. Anything else?
There was something, but it's gone completely out of my head, so I can't remember what it is. I might come back to it.
Mr. Majimsey, anything from you? No,
partner.
Are you back this weekend? Get the band back together.
Should we do an AVFTB?
Let's have a well. Let's see if there's
any. Where and when?
What about trying to do it?
Friday
maybe
night?
do it before the event on Sunday, if we can get down, Paddy, for before it.
Potentially, if
or
you want
Friday or Saturday night.
Friday night's probably better for me. Sunday, if Joanna's happy, like sorting out all the kids, and before we get a lift up to the Alder Grove, potentially. Let's chat about that. See if there's any.
When do you fly back, Davey?
Monday afternoon.
Right. Okay. Leave that with me. I'll have a chat with the F&B team, see if we can do anything.
Happy days. Like I say, the 2 games, Giants against the Sheffield Steelers, Friday 7 p.m, Saturday 7 p.m. at the SSE Arena. Maybe an interview from the bridge. Who knows? Let's chat about that. Big thanks to Jasmine Parker, Laura Small, the Jeff Bombs Collective, Jackson Whistle, Rob Dowd. Actually, on the Jeff Bomb thing, I know the guys from 3 on 3 podcast spoke with them this week, and I think there's going to be an interview with them as well later this week. Probably worth listening out for, and also Rob Dowd for that. Big thanks to you gents, because I've been up against it this week and today. Davey, you did a lot of great work today as well, says we're organizing things, so really do appreciate that. It's a team effort getting this show out, and no more so than today. Big thanks to everybody who's been interacting, watching in, being part of the show. It's we do the show for the fans and for you guys watching the Belfast Giants. We really appreciate you guys getting involved. And on that note, you get us at AVFTB on Twitter. The Player of the Month award will be going up on Wednesday morning. You get us on Facebook, kingdomofgiants.com, which is down at the minute, but we'll sort that out, and all the other usual places. And on that note, wherever you are this weekend, the final weekend of the regular season, we hope you enjoy your hockey, and we'll catch you here next time on A View from the Bridge. Howdy.